Oh my god, guys, what a dramatic Champions League draw we have just seen. Yeah, so heading into the UEFA Champions League draw, obviously a lot of people was very nervous whether their team would get a very strong match or would they get a match where they were expected to lose. But well, I'm happy to say that the Champions League draw just now offer us a lot of drama and also a lot of good rematches for certain teams. And come, let's start with the first matchup in the quarterfinals, which is on the left side of the bracket, which is actually between PSG and Chelsea. Which I mean, yeah, we couldn't have asked for any better matchup than PSG versus Chelsea. So actually, if you guys actually didn't know, it's a very funny coincidence. The last time these two teams met was actually in the Club World Cup final, where PSG were on course to actually be the first ever team to win every single trophy available to them. But Chelsea managed to stop them thanks to their hero in Cole Palmer, who actually scored 2 goals, and also João Pedro. But yeah, I think this round of 16 match will be very, very interesting, considering that obviously after the end of the game between Chelsea and PSG, there was a lot of controversy involving if I'm not was Luis Enrique and João Pedro, and yeah, it was just a very feisty scrap between the two teams after the game. But yeah, it is very interesting to see how the two games will occur between these two teams, considering that PSG obviously now is known for their exceptional talent in the midfield, while Chelsea in the last few games have been a bit so-called they have been a bit ragged in the last few games with them not being able to cope with the injuries that they have had so far this season. But I think that this matchup will be a very, very interesting one, considering that yeah, it's literally between the former Conference League champions and the former European champions. So we'll see about that. And now probably for the second, probably the best matchup of this round of 16, which is actually Real Madrid versus Manchester City. So honestly, in my opinion, I think that Manchester City obviously will be going into this game probably having like a very scared mindset, considering that now, as you guys actually know, in the last few games, Vinicius Junior has really been turning it up for Real Madrid with if I'm not wrong, 3 goals in his last 3 games, which in my opinion is amazing, considering that he had a very, very long goal drought before that game. And yeah, so this game is also a repeat of the league phase where actually Real Madrid actually lost to Manchester City, and he also, if I'm not wrong, in the end costed was one of the reasons that costed Xabi Alonso his job, and Manchester City actually managed to win at the Bernabeu. But I think this game will be a very, very amazing game, considering that Real Madrid and Manchester City have met across the competition. Like I think in the last 5 years they have at least played each other in like the last 3 seasons or whatever. So guys, tell me in the comments down below who you think will win in that game. But yeah, I think that will be a very exciting matchup between those two European juggernauts. And now we'll be going to the next round 16 game, which is actually between Newcastle and Barcelona. So looking at this game, I think that it is also a very, very interesting game, considering that Newcastle are actually like not really doing well in the Premier League now, with them if I'm not in mid-table. While on the other hand, Barcelona is actually currently, if I'm not top of the league, with a 2 or 3 point gap ahead of Real Madrid. And this game is actually very perfect for both teams, considering that now Newcastle have the second high top scorer in the Champions League right now, which is actually Anthony Gordon, while Barcelona have just a huge pool of talent with the likes of Lamine Yamal, Marcus Rashford, Rafinha, and also Paul Kubasi and Joan Garcia. And I think this game will be a very, very exciting game, considering that in the last time these two teams met, it was actually a win for Barcelona at Newcastle, with 2 goal hero Marcus Rashford being the deciding factor in that game. And hopefully we'll get to see an entertaining game between those two teams again. And now we'll be going on to the next game, which is actually Bodo Glimt versus Sporting Lisbon, which in my opinion I think will be a very, very interesting matchup, considering that yeah, Bodo Glimt actually managed to defeat Italian juggernauts Inter Milan in the playoff round, while Sporting Lisbon actually managed to surprise many people by actually getting 7th, if I'm not wrong, in the league phase. And this has actually put these two underdogs against each other for a place in the round of 16. So I think regardless of the result of this game, I think both teams should be very proud, considering how they actually got to this stage of the competition, with Sporting Lisbon having to beat the European champions in order to get into this part of the competition, while actually Bodo Glimt were actually given, if I'm not wrong, almost a 0% chance of going to the round of six of to the playoffs, but they actually somehow managed to go through after beating the likes of Manchester City and Atletico Madrid before actually beating Italian giants Inter Milan in the previous round. And yeah, so it will be a very exciting game to watch. And now we're talking about probably the happiest matchup that I'm most happiest about, which is actually Galatasaray against Liverpool. So if you guys actually didn't know, I'm actually a Liverpool fan, and yeah, so this is actually a very amazing matchup. Considering that there was actually a chance that we could play Atletico Madrid, but yeah, with us getting Galatasaray, I think it will be a very important matchup, and it will also be a chance to get revenge, considering that we actually lost the Galatasaray in the league phase due to a very controversial decision by the referees, and Victor Osimhen actually scored the winner from the penalty spot. So hopefully we'll get a good game there. And yeah, so Atalanta Bayern Munich, I don't think there's much for me to talk about, considering that I think Bayern Munich will easily go through to the quarterfinals. And now we'll be talking about Atletico Madrid and Tottenham Hotspur. I think that game is also going to be a very interesting game, considering that yeah, these two teams are hugely inconsistent. So if you were to compare Atletico Madrid, so if you guys actually didn't know, I think a few weeks back they actually managed to demolish Barcelona at the Wanda Metropolitano 4-0, and yeah, and straight after that, they actually lost to, if I'm not wrong, Rayo Vallecano, who was sitting in the relegation spot. So this team is hugely inconsistent. While they're up against a Spurs side who, in their previous game, actually lost 4-1 to Arsenal at home. And yeah, so with them actually appointing Igor Tudor until the end of the season, I think it will be a very interesting matchup between these two teams. And for the last round of 16 match is actually between Bayer Leverkusen and Arsenal. So it's actually a home return for Kai Havertz, who actually was from Bayer Leverkusen before he joined Chelsea before actually joining Arsenal. And yeah, so that would be an amazing game, considering that yeah, Bayer Leverkusen have been quite an interesting team in the last few seasons. And yeah, so guys, tell me in the comments down below what you think of these knockout rounds, and who do you think are your favorites to win this competition. And yeah, so thank you guys for watching today's analysis of the Champions League knockout round. So if you guys like this kind of content, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as I'm trying to get 150 subscribers by the end of the year. And do also tell me in the comments down below if you guys want more music reaction videos, as yeah, I've seen the support from the Iceland Freestyle and the Slaughter video reaction. And just to tell you guys an important announcement that next month I'm actually going to the Century City concert in Singapore, so I might be so-called recording a vlog there. So if you guys want me to record that vlog, please make sure to tell me in the comments down below. And yeah, so this week's shout out goes out to Krishna, and I'll see you guys in the next video for more amazing global content. Kamsahamnida guys for watching. Adios amigos. Peace.